My mom had one rule that ran our entire house. If you don't ask, the answer is no. She applied it to absolutely everything, no matter how small or simple it was. Can I go to the mall? Did you ask yesterday? No? Then, the answer is no. By the time I turned 16, I realized that asking wasn't actually the hard part. Timing was. Every single Sunday afternoon, my parents watched football together in the living room. Snacks everywhere, dad yelling enthusiastically at the TV, and mom pretending she wasn't secretly cheering even louder than him. That was when they were at their absolute happiest and most relaxed. So, I created a secret list on my phone titled Sunday Requests. Need $20 for a school fundraiser? Sunday. Want to sleep over at Emma's house next weekend? Sunday. Need permission for an out-of-town beach trip next month? Sunday afternoon. My approval rate instantly jumped from a dismal 30% to nearly 100%. It worked so well that my little brother started pulling me aside in the hallway to ask, is this a Sunday question or a Tuesday question? One afternoon, mom caught me smiling while aggressively typing on my phone. What are you writing over there? Homework. I lied smoothly. Technically, strategic planning was homework. A week later, she put the pieces together. You've been saving all your requests for football Sundays, haven't you? I just smirked and nodded. The next weekend, she announced a new rule. No asking for favors while we're watching sports. Okay, challenge accepted. Instead of asking during the game, I started preparing everything in advance. Permission slips filled out, except for her signature. Backpack packed. Gas tank filled. Core list completely finished. Then I'd casually leave the paperwork on the kitchen counter, where she'd notice it after the game ended. Half the time, she'd sign whatever paper was sitting there before I even opened my mouth. Dad finally laughed and said, she's not asking anymore, honey. She's marketing. Mom wasn't amused. Rule update. No leaving paperwork out for her to stumble upon. Fine. A few weeks later, my friends wanted to go to a Saturday concert. Instead of asking directly, I invited mom to help me pick an outfit. While looking through my closet, she asked, so, what's all this fashion testing for? Oh, a concert this weekend. You already have plans? I would, if you say yes. She blinked. I walked right into that one. Dad nearly spilled his coffee laughing from the hallway. Then came the ultimate boss battle, junior prom. I knew asking at the wrong moment could ruin everything. So, I waited until mom was showing old family photos to my aunt, getting emotional over pictures from her own prom. I quietly slid my permission form across the table with a pen. She smiled without even reading it and signed her name. 5 seconds later, she looked down at what she'd just done. Dad couldn't stop laughing. I think we just got played. After that, mom made one final announcement. No more strategy. If you want something, just ask whenever you need to. No tricks. Honestly, that sounded terrifying. There was no safety net anymore. A month later, I nervously asked to take a weekend road trip with my debate team. No football game, no family nostalgia, no clever setups. Just me asking honestly. Mom looked at me for a long moment and said, you know, lately you've been responsible enough that I don't feel like I have to decode your plans anymore. She handed me the car keys. Have fun. Just text me when you get there. That surprised me more than any loophole I'd ever found. The real prize wasn't beating her rules. It was earning enough trust that the rules slowly disappeared. My dad still loves telling people, we didn't raise a sneaky daughter. He grins at me every time. We accidentally raised a political campaign manager.